Hey there, everybody. How have y'all been? Yeah, two weeks. That's not bad. We're almost back to weekly. But yeah, no, it's yeah. Today will actually be I think an interesting day because I'll be able to show off. I've made kind of a roadmap, as it were, to the actual, I guess, completed version of the game. That feels weird saying, but yeah. Let's see. Yeah, or maybe not completed, but at the minimum, like, you know, at what point, what I need to get done to start testing, what I want to get done before I release, get all that stuff out of the way. But yeah, let's see. Is anyone here? Probably should check that. Dang, 2 weeks ain't enough. I should have done weekly. Actually, I should have. I did do daily, but then my life fell apart, and you got to go to weekly when that happens. Let's see. But yeah. Oh, hey there, Squid Stick. Good seeing you. Let's see. And yeah, because you're in the chat, we're gonna actually gonna start. Oh wait, that's okay. There we go. Okay. But yeah, so these are the things I want to get done for testing. So basically, there are a few categories, but not too many. Let me actually do the README. No, I don't know. Is it MD Markdown? Open preview to the side. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Now I can put this here. All right. So now this is more readable. Yay, isn't VS Code cool? Hey there, Joy. Glad you could make it. Joy to have you around. Oh, dang it, there it goes. Okay. I will not double click this time. But, okay, so this is the stuff that I want to do before we start testing. Not all of it's coherent to people who aren't me, but as I'm the one who has to do them, that's not the biggest thing. So one of them is I want to add a new configuration for the textures that allows you to select a specific texture channel and then make it a mono texture. So example, have you ever seen a filter for, okay, let's see if I can just get this running. Let's see. There's a chance that it totally won't work, but that's on me for doing it live. Okay, yeah, probably this one. I hate the new permission service. I have permission to do it, just not in a group game. It's frustrating. But yeah, so let's see. Did I put that anywhere else? I think I might have put it in here. Okay, it's loading them. Oh, for these? No, okay, I didn't do anything like that. That being said, all right, but it's basically a way to have, it's showing up, right? Okay, yeah. It's basically a way to do tinting of a texture in a way which is a lot cleaner. And so it'll be a quick thing to add. I already added the back end. I just need to add the UI. Add some starter clothes. Right now, you kind of just spawn in like the default uniform. And ideally, there'd be a way to have it like spit you out in a way that looks decent. I've been thinking about eventually having the starter clothes be somewhat yeah, like actually like doing some like mass scraping of like the community. Like I'll use all the discords like Discord user IDs, or like the Roblox user IDs attached to it, to determine what kind of articles of clothing are worn by the community the most, so that like I can make sure that there's like a supported version for the majority of items. So if you want to mess it up, start wearing really goofy clothes for the next few months. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Squid Stick. We all have rough days. There is a trend. So this is just for the earliest testing, January, February. Um, there is a generic category for adding more expand map. So that'd fall under that probably. Um, but yeah. Will I add more suits? Yeah, so adding more character items, that is somewhere on the list. Though right now, there's already more character items than ever. So, I think that's good. And yeah, so with that. Oh yeah, so then just, this is probably more of a bug than a feature. Actually, it's a feature because it has like added user experience explanation stuff. Anyway, I'm going to have to implement something on the suit stuff, which it's not necessarily something that I think y'all will not like, but it is something that's going to be annoying. And I'm just going to be upfront about it because it's not like me, it's not a design choice, not really. It is a aspect of how Roblox has kneecapped me with the stupid textures. They did a thing where if you use more than 40 megabytes of texture, you end up. That's very annoying. It will literally just refuse to create new textures for you. This isn't really an OC. It's just something I was messing around when I was trying to make it look cool. But as you can see with these textures, like the sort of the character texture stuff, like, let's see, we can do, why isn't it responding? Yeah, still some bugs to fix. Which is why it's on the bug thing. Anyway, but as you can see, it's actually loading the clothes, and there's this interesting thing you'll be able to notice when you go to the character editor to maintain that sort of budget. So, well, no, that's the thing. You're gonna have 40 megabytes worth of textures for the entire client. So, like every texture in your game that's custom like this, is going to have a. By the way, the camera working with different fields of view and screen sizes. Yeah, so no, it's not customizable, guys. It's a limitation. It's a technical limitation. So like, all right. So you see these textures. Yeah, like literally, you have like if I use more than this many custom pixels, it will stop allowing me to make new ones. So like I'm having to do increasingly annoying advanced like let's see. So F6. There it is. Okay, yeah. Like check this out. I literally have to I have to record for myself every single usage of a custom texture. And so as a result, like I actually have to render them at lower resolutions to make it work, which has been a headache to get working, but it is working in theory. This is a lower resolution image than it was supposed to be. Yeah, yeah, and then but see, look how blurry it is right now. That is basically how like stuff will render when you're super far away. Then it will render back to higher resolution. So. But as a result, there is going to be, to an extent, like a degree of like max amount of texture you can have on your character. Now, for the most part, that isn't actually going to be related to the character stuff here, I'm actually changing the resolution for the helmet too. So let me, okay. So you're gonna be able to see it kind of briefly when it first loads in the helmet. Okay, so we're gonna wait for it to load all that stuff in there. All right, now when we go back, no, it did instantly. Okay, well, this is being rendered at a lower resolution as well. And if I wanted it to be, and so yeah, like if you have like 20 masks with custom texturing stuff, because not everything's going to trigger the custom texturing. If you don't recolor an item, it won't count towards this budget. If you don't do anything that would like require post-processing, it will not count towards this budget. But yeah, so that's the current strategy at least. Yeah, for the meantime, I'm mostly just trying to think of ways to use this 40 megabytes, which is not. It really isn't enough. I really am unhappy with Roblox for doing that. I can't stress enough how much that annoys me. Like, just crash the client. I don't care. Like, if I can't handle it responsibly, crash the client. I don't know. It's annoying. Don't tell me how to use my memory. Okay. So, as you can see, I am genuinely heated with this limitation. It's one added for, in theory, understandable reasons, where a lot of developers will not budget their memory. They just won't do that. And so this is a way to prevent every game that does this with a developer who doesn't take responsibility from crashing. It's just, yeah. Once again, held back by the least of the developer community. Yeah, but anyway, I'm guessing over time they will find ways to increase that, or at least I will complain to enough ears to get it raised a bit. But I'm cranky today. I don't know what's going on. But yeah. So as a result, there's only so much I can do when it comes to texture stuff. But the textures are rendering much faster than they used to. Like, as you can see, the longest wait is still, of course, the character outfit. But my plan is that I'll have those rendered really quickly at lower resolutions. Like, let's actually... Okay, so check this out. Okay, y'all have to promise me something, because I know this will happen. Okay? If I show y'all it rendering at a lower resolution, we all have to agree to not panic about how ugly the textures are. Okay? This is only going to be something that's at a distance. Why am I setting myself up to fail? This is just going to backfire. Okay. Okay, it's fine. It's too late for me. So, all right. Thank you, Joy. I appreciate it. You're real for that. All right, so let's, I'm going to lower the map resolutions to 32. Okay? So, and then we're going to make the textures in the editor 64. Okay. So now, accept. All right, let's go. Let's go, Mr. Worldwide. Okay. So, as you can see, this is what it looks like with super low resolution. Not great, but not horrible, honestly. Like, it actually looks all right. This is at maximum resolution of 32 by 32. And with that, you can actually have a lot of textures. So, for example, if we assume every shirt texture is around 512 times 512, it's not exactly that, but each one of those has 4 bytes. So now, if we do 40 times 10 to the 24 times 10 to the 24. So wait, a million? Okay, yeah. It's megabytes. So I only have about 40. I only have about 40 full texture, characters that you can have it once for like just a single texture. So if we lower that to 32, which is what it's currently set at, that number increases to like 10,000. Like if I could just do this all the time, I could have 10,000 characters worth of textures. But that's not what's happening. So yeah, but I think this is what it looks like at a 64. By the way, you can see it starts to get a little bit of detail back, but it's still not perfect. But yeah, it's so for the most part, you won't be punished for adding a bunch of accessories. I mean, we have to have some limit at some point. We can't have you have 1,000 accessories, obviously not. But like for the most part, the limit will be on custom textures on it. So like the way I made this helmet blue, like that'll be the stuff which won't fly. Yeah, so let's see. I just want to see what 128 is again, because 256. If I can get away with 128, it'll make my life a lot easier. I just don't know if I can. Yeah, it would make my life so much easier. I could have 640 of these. But you really do start losing the resolution for because this is supposed to be flannel. Roblox. So yeah, hello. Yeah, so this game is all about I guess making custom superheroes and fighting as them. Yeah, it's a fun game, so people tell me. But yeah, right now I'm working on the character as well as talking with my community about what stuff's coming next. It's a laid back stream. Admittedly, if you're here to learn about game dev, this is probably going to be one of the slower streams. So yeah. I mean, hey, yeah, superhero life. It's coming eventually. In fact, if we check out the okay, so let's go. Have I just been showing the wrong screen this whole time? Of course I have. Okay, but let's pull this back up. Okay, so the really well, yeah. I mean, I like Luau. It's like for anyone who doesn't know, it's kind of like TypeScript for JavaScript, and if that didn't help, it's fine. You can get a little bit further in the programming journey before you know what that is. But yeah, it's just a much more scalable version of Lua, in my opinion, in terms of project planning. So yeah, I've been kind of building up all my code bases around that, which is kind of nice. I enjoy it. It's a pleasant, it's a peaceful development experience for the most part. I would still rather I had C# or C++, but better than nothing. Oh yeah, no, I definitely want to add a bunch of variety with. No, it's good. I'm glad people are excited. I'm just lucky people are excited. Half a decade after I announced this game, and then remade it like 10 times. What can I complain about except for the memory limit, which I don't even know if I should complain about, but I just know that nobody's going to stop me. I'm going to complain about it. Yeah, but yeah, so also, I did it again. Okay. Oops, I did it again. Oh, also, let's see. Can we see in the background? Not really. Okay, just a second. Let me, all right, right here. I officially bought a piano. And so let's see. I'm not good at it yet. Let's see. I'm not. I promise you, I'm going to show y'all, but I can do like this one progression. I don't know what's first. I don't know what I'm talking about. So it goes C, G, C, D, C, B. So let's see. Oh, that sounded bad. All right, let's see. C, G, C. Okay. That is all I can do currently, but it's a start. Oh yeah. No, the thing is, music is just one of those things which I love. I love music. I just can't do it, and I'm gonna change that. So yeah. So I'm excited about that. So yeah, it's for all y'all wondering who will make the music for Superhero Life 4. If I'm lucky, me. Let's see. I've got to learn how to play hot cross buns. Funnily enough, I think I did learn that when I was a kid. I've just completely forgotten. Yeah, but no, pianos. I think I'm gonna really like it because I enjoy that one little, just set of keys. It's nothing. It's obviously nothing, but I really enjoy playing it. This could also describe Superhero Life 4. you know, well, hopefully it'll be something to someone, something to me at least. Let's see. Will there be other vehicles? Probably. Piano's kind of complicated. I'm coding a game in in Lua. I promise I'm up for it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm saying it's going to happen. Does that make sense? You know? Yeah. What's it called? Oh yeah. But let's see. In terms of the actual release stuff, though, so we're gonna get a bunch of editor features and just little tweaks. A lot of these honestly should be under the bug section. I don't know why I put them here. And just make the UX a little bit more, usable. And then we're gonna fix a bunch of bugs that I found and new bugs that y'all will find. But if y'all are finding the bugs, that is after earliest testing. Um, yeah, I did learn a bit of guitar in college because I'm basic and wanted to play Wonderwall, but wasn't meant to be. The So let's see. Oh yeah, and then I mean technically I already can play a mean calculator. Yeah. I think that's just a spreadsheet. Oh yeah, so to implement those limitations. Oh yeah, some of the assets just don't scale correctly. Not the textures themselves, but like the thing I'm doing to convert them from from special meshes to mesh parts. Um, it has flaws. I don't know what they are yet, but I'll figure it out. Sometimes it just puts them too far to one direction or the other. Um, I need to add a welcome screen because technically right now I am just having I have essentially 9 games under Superhero Life 4. Um, Basically one for each branch of it essentially. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, so here are the 9 games. So this one will eventually be the live set. This one will be the test set. That's the one which the testers will be playing. And this is the dev set, the ones that I'll be playing. And every time I'm ready, I have a Git workflow, which is a fancy cool thing that you do if you hate your life. But also want to do really cool stuff with code. Hey there, hee hee hoo hoo. Welcome back. And so whenever I'm just doing stuff to, test things out, I'll do it here. And then I can sort of mass publish this entire branch over to here, which means y'all will be able to play it. And then when these are good, I can then mass publish it over to here, which means everyone will be able to play it. And all of it's semi-automated, but not really because it's still broken enough that I kind of have to manually do everything. Progress. the, oh no, I did it again. I haven't been showing y'all the thing this whole time. Anyway, here are the three branches I'm talking about. Yeah, so there's a lobby, which is where people will, talk to each other and stuff. Not talk to, select the game modes, all that stuff. Maybe they'll talk to each other. I do like the idea of a somewhat social lobby, but and then there's going to be a power lab, which I'm guessing will probably only ever be for development testing stuff, but like if it's playable, might as well keep it available for everyone, Like it'll just become more polished over time, like kind of just a place you can test out powers. I think that'd be pretty cool. Sanctuary City, that I'm starting to fall out of favor with the name. I don't like it that much anymore. But that is this city. It might get renamed to something. We'll see. But yeah, so then that's this map. But yeah, it's pretty good. Let's see, what was it? Okay, but now back to the tasks ahead. Oh, and then we have to do Discord stuff. Also, I might make a data erasure bot when I do this because it's taking up more time than I expected. Yes, exactly, time traveling. So you get it. Yeah, let's see, but yeah, so that's kind of the plan. I don't know when this will happen exactly. It might not be that momentous, honestly. Like I might just start like, do a stealth rollout and then we'll see. Like it'll only be Discord discussion for the most part. But then yeah, after this is where stuff gets more fun. Where I add new updates to the game over the following months. Let's see, like for example, we have appearance selection stuff, so you can swap different character modes. Build out the powers a bit, get that initial set running. Yeah, well, hey, for what it's worth, I think once the game's playable, I do think excitement for it will improve because right now everyone's tired. No one believes me anymore. I don't blame them. It's been a while. And I first said that testing would start in 2024. Not even first. That's like the most recent estimate. You see me saying this is February. That probably means March, April. We all understand it at this point. Predicting stuff is hard when you're not doing it full time, and when you are doing it full time and you're not as experienced. But I think that we have something pretty solid. Let's see. As you can see, this isn't too many things. We can do this. This is doable. Yeah, so well, I guess Joy, from a marketing perspective, you are correct. Building hype is good. I guess what I've learned with time is that a good game will succeed with zero hype. And I guess I just rather focus on making a really good game than like try to do that hype machine because it drains your soul, really. Yeah, I'm in no rush. My work with Blocks Fruits keeps me happy and well funded. And so like I'm just gonna focus on making a really good game. And that means sometimes, taking an extra month to redo something which only you care about. But I do think it'll pay off. Yeah, so we have all of these, so these things, this isn't too extreme. I think we'll be able to have this done in the next few weeks, this is pretty likely to be playable soon. It'll be the character editor. You will be able to edit your character. That is what you will be able to do here. Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna abandon it. I promise. Okay, we're gonna get this out. Let's see. It's looking at probably yeah. So yeah. So now we have phase 2 of testing essentially, which is after after the regular tester releases. So once this early testing is done, I'm going to add new functionality. I'm just gonna like every month or so, I'm gonna make an update that adds new stuff to it. And this isn't necessarily the order it's gonna happen, but these are just the kind of things that it will be. It'll be stuff like map improvements, weather, like all this kind of stuff. Wait a second. Weather and seasons indentation do not look right. Yeah, it did not. Okay. So let's see. Yeah. But like this is the kind of stuff you can expect to have added monthly over the next while. Just all the stuff we've talked about. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna. I'm still figuring out exactly how I want to do the progression because I don't know. I do want to have a progression system. I know that y'all are that's controversial. Um, and I want to make sure that the people who just want to do role play do not get blocked from doing that. But I also want to aspire to more. Maybe this will be me making mistakes again, but I'm not going to ignore feedback. But that also means I might not accept the easiest solutions, I do want to have progression in the game. I'm pretty sure of that. And the question is, how do I do that in a way which makes the roleplay community happy, but also does not make it kind of oh yeah, you can just have infinite powers, Like I want, because that's the problem. I genuinely believe that being able to build, like, y'all understand that not having every power unlocked in a game is not a problem with the design. Like, game progression is not always just like some monetization thing. Like, in fact, it's supposed to not be. Game progression is something you'll see in single player games with no extra monetization because it is just so clear from the design that being able to unlock powers over time and build up your character over time is a positive player experience. It really is. And I'm not even going to monetize it. I'll tell you this much. Any progression in game, I'm going to be doing it for the perspective of how do I make this game more fun? We're going to monetize for sure, but it's going to be monetization in like the base customization, vehicles for the most part. So yeah, like the problem is so here's the thing I'm thinking about. I think that there should be like special moves, like special attacks that you can only do if you unlock them. But like the general power should be available in roleplay mode for like, for if you just want to try it out. Like you should be able to do, basic like fire attacks and stuff, but without, having any limitations. However, in order to get that attack, like a super attack unlocked in roleplay mode, maybe you gotta like unlock it in one of the regular modes first, See, honestly, yeah, bases, that'll be fun. I really want to do cool stuff with the bases, so don't be surprised if bases delays the game like another half a year because I'll be building it up like crazy. But yeah. So yeah, we have Just basic stuff. Not all of it's as fun as others, but yeah. Oh yeah, I want to have NPCs that just kind of wander around. You know, I think that'd be funny. A lot of cool moments. You know, the like there's something very funny about the idea of like you're just like practicing your powers and like you punch a tree and it knocks out 3 people, like, and then you immediately get like a wanted level. That's a very funny idea. You know, that'll lead to some good gameplay moments. But yeah. And then so this stuff up here, I think I might be okay. So this is the monthly stuff. Now through fall 2025, realistically, that is more me saying I don't want to commit to this game coming out in 2026. You know, like let's be honest, this is a lot of stuff. I don't think it'll be as painful though because I'll be adding it every month. Like this isn't, you're not gonna have to wait an entire year for all of this stuff to be added. It'll be added one chunk at a time. So you know, by the end of the year, there'll probably be a server or two permanently playing the game. At least that's my hope. And yeah, so once I finish all of those, it's really just going to be content releases. So like the mechanics for the most part are done. I just need to add more content. You know, like I'm gonna need to add more items, add more map stuff, all of this kind of stuff. You know, just like get things ready for a full release. Like the game has all of the bones it needs. Here is the meat, as well as, you know, just the packaging for public release. But yeah, so like, you know, this is the current strategy. I don't think I'll see it change too much. I'm guessing we, you know, we'll have more powers appear for sure. But like, that's what things are gonna look like. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Let's see the. Let's see what. Yeah, no, I think that. Yeah, so I do think that having unlocked powers is something I really want to do. Um, and like once you unlock it for one character, I really am keeping them locked in roleplay mode for more of like the surprise factor. You know, like some powers are just cooler if you haven't seen them as often. And if I can keep those powers kind of special, kind of like you only see them once you've worked to unlock them, then I do think that'll make them have more of an impact. Once you unlock them, though, I think you should be able to use them across the stuff. Like, I really want you all to understand, I'm not doing this for like a cynical like make as much money as possible thing. I'm doing this because genuinely, unironically, I think that it will be more fun for people if I can keep some surprises. You know. Like if I can keep some things just to surprise them for after they've invested time into the game, you know? This isn't about keeping your toys away. It's about having Christmas presents, you know? Y'all get it. But yeah. Thank you, Procon, man. Good superhero. You might become canonized. Let's see. Yeah, John Fireball walks into the room. Yeah, I do really think that we're going to have some pretty cool character things. Like, this whole texture aspect has caused me such a headache. I need to find a way to make it so that when it changes, like, see how like the texture hasn't loaded yet? I need to modify the way things build to like increase the resolution as they transform, you know, like as well as ideally just a way to make it faster. Like it's rough. That's stupid. So annoying. I really hate that memory limit. It's caused me so many headaches and I feel it's quite unnecessary. But fine, whatever. Make my life miserable, Roblox. But yeah, so a lot of my suffering over the next few months will just be, well, so yeah, exactly, Squid Stick. Yeah, just I want to I want it to not be immersion breaking. And right now you can see it obviously is. Because obviously when your character transforms, I have to choose between either having this character, a copy of them stored somewhere, or I need to have it build in real time with that kind of stuff. Hey there, how have you been? Oh, okay, yeah, no, this I think I talked to you about some of this stuff. This is the sort of character editing stuff that I was telling you about. But yeah, we have some. Let's see, we've been experimenting with texture layering, as well as just a bunch of stuff with that. But yeah, I think I'm pretty happy with it. So yeah, right now we're just sort of building that back up. Yeah, it all uses editable images, which has been a fun to juggle with because that stupid memory limit. Yeah, oh yeah, so yeah, we are probably going to have a grapple hook kind of thing. I think it might even be on the initial power list. Let me double check that. I'm thinking this isn't a complete list because I don't even have flight on it. Okay, but yeah, so yeah, thank you, Alakai. I've been working to try to make build all this out, slow but steady. Working on the weekends. But yeah, it's fun. I think we're slowly making progress, and it's just a fun little project to build up over time. But yeah, I would say that for the most part, though, for grappling hook, that's definitely something we're going to have to add. The question is when. Grappling hook has always been a heavier thing. I guess well, you can do grapple hook really easily, but doing it well is difficult, and I want to do it well. Yeah, well, yeah. That's part of the reason why I want to maintain. I want to have a custom, private servers available very early on. I think that was a good addition to Superhero Life too, and I want to have it here. I think that can sort of maintain that small game feel, you know. Oh yeah, no, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, no, the grappling hook is the easy ways are to try to do some kind of rope constraint thing that kind of retracts over time. It's but that causes so many bugs, especially when you're trying to replicate it across to other clients. Because making a grappling hook that looks all right on just a client is not necessarily the most impossible thing. Roblox physics can run all right on the client. It's when it's replicating that's when all of a sudden you're kind of wishing you just made a canned solution for yourself. So yeah, so I'm gonna have to break out some math to figure that out. Like pendulum logic and stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, the old grapple gear, I think Superhero Life 2 or 1 did that. I It just doesn't feel that good. That's the problem. You can make a grapple hook gear that technically checks the box pretty easily, but making one that feels good in a world where Spider-Man PS4 exists, no. You gotta, you know, I'm held to higher standards than I used to be. Well, that's the thing. I don't. My goal is not just to I don't. My goal ain't to rip off Spider-Man. I want to make a generalizable thing which you can use for the Batman grapple hook kind of vibe and the Spider-Man swing vibe. In theory, both of them are the same tool. It's just different animations you play. You need to be able to. Spider-Man would need to be able to shoot up here and then zip to the top. Batman needs to do that. You know, Spider-Man needs to be able to swing between buildings. Batman needs to do that. You know, like if both Batman and Spider-Man need to do it, then I'm not ripping off any one of them. You know, like it's and so that's kind of my rule of thumb. Like if I can find someone from Marvel and DC who does something, then I'm not just blatantly copying. You know, I'm just trying to make something authentic to the superhero experience. And yeah, so I'm trying to make an authentic swinging grapple hook system. And that's going to take like a week or two of just banging my head on the keyboard. So yeah. Oh yeah, that I mean, like, don't get me wrong. If someone's goal is to make Spider-Man in the game, I'm not gonna like police that. You know, like I would love if you made your own thing, but like I'm not gonna put in the effort to like make sure like only OCs, like Yeah, no, I have better things to do. Um, so yeah, like for people who want to be Spider-Man, the grappling hook does exist for that. But my hope is that I want to see more. Like you can see some comic books like Invincible take. They obviously they take inspirations from other comic book characters. A lot of it's Superman, obviously, with the one guy. But there are other references too, and I think that as a result, like Invincible is probably one of my favorite like fantasy superhero worlds. Like y'all are saying Marvel DC, not Invincible. And so as a result, like I think that in many ways, my dream superhero life, universe is kind of like an Invincible one, where there's just a lot of characters in it, just a lot of cool little characters, little one-off cameos even, made by people who genuinely love comic books and superheroes, but are still trying to make their own thing. That's the vibe I get from Invincible, Like, they're not trying to rip off Marvel or DC. They just love them, and they're inspired by them. And so they make something, that what they view would be like the ultimate superhero story. And I think it works for that. But yeah. So that's the current plan. Yeah, so it's just running around, doing stuff. I need to make the map bigger for sure though. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, everyone can just tell when they engage with that universe that like, okay, yeah, this person wanted to make something really cool, and thought really hard about that. It just works. It just works. I do like the new evil buildings. I don't know if it's because I miss Indiana and this is an Indiana staple, but they just look so cool, so evil. Like it's such a good mix of like brutalism, which I do think is a good evil aesthetic, but also like kind of modern and like not just boring, you know? So I like those. Oh yeah, there are a lot of evil people in Indiana. As to evil buildings, I would say these ones stand out. They're called the Indiana Pyramids. If you want to look them up, you know. Yeah, they may be evil, but they're family. No, actually, my family's quite nice. The neighbors where I grew up in a place called Carmel, Indiana, which to anyone who's seen Parks and Rec, I know it's an older show, but they are Eagleton. they, they're basically this sort of like well-off, rich neighborhood that everyone kind of hates because everyone there sucks. Um, for what it's worth, my parents did not move intentionally there. They moved to an unincorporated territory, and the neighborhood kind of got sucked into it as it grew. But what can I say? I still technically grew up in Carmel. I got to live with that shame for the rest of my life. When everyone asks, I say, yeah, I grew up north of Indianapolis, and I just really hope they don't ask further questions. Please, assume Zionsville, assume Noblesville, anything but Carmel. Oh well. It's a beautiful town though. It's not a bad place to visit. It's just the people there are kind of mean and snooty, and they have a bad reputation because of it. But yeah, I do like the city map though. Not much. Welcome, Shadow. Loved you in the recent Sonic movie. Let's see. Yeah, oh yeah, no, the Indiana pyramids, they're very evil looking. Like they look, the shape is very similar to these. So if you can see them, there's three of them. The one thing I changed for the most part is different color scheme. I didn't like try to follow it directly. I just got the general shape of it down. Um, and then from there, I changed the scaling to increase across them. Um, but yeah, what's it called? The Indiana pyramids, very evil. My dad actually worked in one of them. Yeah, he was a henchman. No, no, they're software development buildings, to my understanding. Um, oh, thank you. Yeah, no, we've come a long way for sure. But yeah, we're slowly working towards a release. I think things are going well though. Yeah, we definitely need to make the map bigger, but I'm excited. I think I told y'all I'm moving to Chicago in a few months. And so if y'all are ready for some Gotham level stuff to start appearing, which tell me what y'all think of this. I heard from a Chicago native that Gotham is based on Chicago. I haven't lived in Chicago for a long time. Or ever, if you consider Elmhurst not part of Chicago. It's the greater Chicago area, but it's not Chicago at the same time. And I could tell you, Manhattan felt a lot more of like the evil scum and villainy that I could associate with, with it. But that being said, The Dark Knight was filmed in Chicago, apparently, in parts, and probably Vancouver. And so, like, there's an argument for Gotham being Chicago. I just can't help but think of it more as Manhattan. But, whatever side of the coin you fall on, I will be living there. I'll be seeing those towers every day in the same way that if you look at how my city design improved after living in New York, for a year, expect that again, We're going to keep on getting these levels of improvements. So yeah, that'll be fun. My character's shorter than I expected. Oh yeah, they are. Okay, that's better. Yeah, oh yeah, I think Chicago's a beautiful city, Like, and also for what's with New York is pretty too. They're very aesthetically pleasing cities. The problem with New York, from when I was there at least, it wasn't even the people necessarily. It was just, you could tell that the local government was overwhelmed. Like, things were falling apart. I saw a lot of homeless people who were just going through mental health problems and needed help, and they weren't getting it. And they were making other people around them uncomfortable. Like, they were being violent. I was one of those people stuck on, like, subway cars with, like, a homeless person tweaking out. Every person in Manhattan is. And that's rough. And, like, you can't help but think that, like, the New York government needs to step up. And they know that. But they're a mix of corrupt and also overwhelmed by the fact that it's a massive problem because it's a massive city. And, I think that Chicago, from what I saw, the government had it more under control. Like, I'm not saying it's perfect, but, like, compared to Manhattan, yeah. So it's an upgrade. The mass transit is not as good, though. So, you win some, you lose some. I am a part of Block Streets. That's my full-time job. I just do this stuff on the weekends mostly now. Yeah, they're a really nice team. I definitely recommend you'll give it a play. Please don't give me like feature requests though, or like any of that stuff. I'm not. That's not the job I have. I have the here is the design, make it work. You know, make it so. Yeah. And like I actually don't know too much about the design of Blocks Fruits. Like I know, obviously I know some stuff. I've been working there for a few months, but like I'm not necessarily an expert on the design, so I don't really try to help with the design part too much. I'm just like, okay, y'all obviously know what you're doing with the design. It's a very successful game. People really like it. I know a lot about coding, so I'll do the coding, you do the design. We'll work together. We'll make something really cool. Break a few records, and that's how it's been going. Really nice people. Oh yeah, no, Transformers 3. That was a yeah. That was a fun one. They made the Autobots so evil in that movie. But yeah. Oh yeah, so sorry, that red circle, this is a debug thing that I added a while ago and I haven't turned off, partially because I think it looks a bit cool. This is not a permanent addition. This is something I added for the power system just to see where my mouse was aiming and verify that I was syncing it up right. Yeah, so thank you, Broccolin. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, we're just kind of running around, enjoying the vibe. I do really like this city. Yeah, the I look forward to expanding this city, honestly. Like it needs to be bigger. I want to add more stuff, but that's going to take time, you know. Um, but yeah, like for the most part, that's pretty much it. Like I'm probably gonna wrap it in the next 5 minutes, unless y'all, really have some stuff we want to talk about. But the yeah, also I am gonna swap out these trees. I promise you. I think I actually have a specific step for that. Let's see. I know because it was annoying me. I tried to do it earlier with editable meshes. Um, But then I realized the editable meshes counts towards the memory limit too because Roblox hates me. They hate me specifically. I could tell because this probably annoys me more than anyone else on the planet. Yeah, it's personal now. But like it just I'm not annoyed with the idea that they have some kind of protections in place for certain behaviors for editable meshes and textures. I get it. You don't want your clients to crash. That's fine. But I'm not going to crash them. Stop blocking me from making cool stuff. I have a very minimal texture experience for the most part. Like let me manage all the textures. Don't limit me to 40 megabytes. The game, if I want my game to be 90% texture memory, I'm going to do that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's just like, but if I had to choose between like, because here's the thing, right now, I wanted to make it so that I could have, one thing I wanted to do is I wanted to make the fall leaves happen on using editable textures. I think that'd be a cool transition over time. And I could use a single source for all these trees, make it look really pretty. I can't. Because then that's just a permanent bit of memory eaten up with that very limited budget. Like, it's frustrating. It's frustrating that with every other aspect of memory, you can just kind of go crazy. But then with this specific one, it's like, no, you can have this much. Like, no, let me work with it. Give me some opportunities here. Well, one day when they do increase the limit or find some better solutions, at the very least, I will have engineered my own system to be pretty good. Which let's see. Yeah, yeah. What am I talking about? Yeah. Oh, also, let's see. Oh, okay. If you want to ever do any post-processing stuff on textures. The Wally package I made is pretty cool. I benchmarked it. Yeah, let's see. So it has just a bunch of different things. Apparently doing the multiplication and addition stuff is very fast. Most of it's down below 10 milliseconds per modification, which is pretty good. It means you can do real-time stuff, kind of, if you're doing it at one texture a frame. But yeah, so it's, definitely check that out. But yeah, like I don't hate that I'm making the systems in this game very memory. I mean, so long as you're doing Git, I don't really blame you. Like, I don't think you need to use Rojo so long as you have like actual version control. And like, access to a CI/CD workflow. And if even that isn't happening, like, maybe it's just legacy code and it just takes time to port over. But I do think version control and what's it called? And just being able to have like release workflows, I do think that's valuable. I do. I think that helps a lot. So, I'm assuming that like you haven't avoided those entirely. Yeah, like at the end of the day, it's about what solves the problem. And I do think that, being able to run like a linting check on your entire game before you ever save anything, before you publish anything, I think that's good. Obviously, it's not like a deal breaker for a lot of people. Like you can just, manually check stuff, but I do. What can I say? I can't imagine going back. I feel like that would be a downgrade to the developer experience. The problem is, I'm sure, and this is probably why, when I hear talented developers say they don't use Rojo or VS Code, it's not because they reject the merits of Rojo or VS Code specifically. It's because they understand that like most programmers they can hire don't do that. The Roblox game dev programmer pool is they're learning. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's just like people, a lot of, I've heard that for people not wanting to use UI frameworks as well. It's like, you find a person who can make something cool, but they're not necessarily as advanced in the areas of more software-y kind of like, technical debt kind of mindset. And like at the end of the day, the players just want something that's fun. So like, I get it. Yeah. It's just, I'm never going to forgive Roblox for locking them in that walled garden because it didn't have to be this way. It's so funny. Just you can watch like the little clashes over the years of like Roblox versus Rojo. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. I'm not a Fusion guy really. I use React Lua. I like React Lua a lot. Let's see. I don't know, but all my components are really ugly right now. Oh no. This isn't going to be the best representation of React Lua. Please don't view it like so. But like I think it handles technical debt a lot better, and it's a lot more flexible for all that kind of stuff. And I think it has a lot of performance benefits, if only because they believe in benchmarking. So yeah, I think React Lua is probably where I stand in terms of my favorite UI framework. I do think that it allows you to do a lot cooler stuff with less effort. For example, making virtual lists where like you only have the cards that are visible rendered. That's so much easier with React Lua. But yeah, I think Fusion's an interesting thing. I'm glad Fusion exists. I think that it's, for one, it shows like a very flexible and intuitive syntax, I found. But my problem with it is that because it's so based on that syntax, you can't really do many hacky things with it. or at least not reliably. Like there's something about Fusion which feels very untrustworthy. like like a state won't get connected correctly or something. But I do think that like for animation, I found that Fusion is a lot more intuitive than React Lua. Yeah, like you don't have to teach someone what a hook is when you're doing Fusion. Um, yeah, no, until the Roblox developer pool levels out more, I don't blame studios for not like, you know, yeah, no, it's just I don't get it. Like why don't they learn? It would take like a week. No, I get why like teaching them, forcing someone to level up that moment. It's just like I guess in my head, the emotional like joy I get learning a cool new technology and the idea that people would just kind of pass that up. I don't know. This doesn't click for me. But I understand. I've talked to enough development studios to know that like this is a real, like as much as we'd love to live in an ideal world where developers build up their skills, that's not the world we live in. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, like it's supposed to be React node. It's not me. I always mix them up. But yeah, like for the most part, if Roblox did a better job at synchronizing externally, did you see that that the Roblox sync thing they did? Like I was mad. I was mad when I saw that. Not because of any particular issue with the sync, but because when I saw there was a 64 file limit. Like what? Was this for package development? Like what are you talking about? Like, what game has 64 scripts maximum? It's no. It's just yeah. Yeah, no, I get that. Like I'm a head developer at Bloxfruit most of the time these days. And these are some people who've been working on the game for a long time and have made a very good game as a result. And like whenever I bring in like a new technical thing, like the number one rule is that like I've imposed on myself. They haven't like told me I can't do this. I'm just being, I like, is that I can't ever get in anyone's way. Like I can't like these are things that I have to add on top. Yeah, yeah, no, it's absurd. Like at 64 is like ridiculous. Like I don't even understand why. Like 64 makes me think there's some like bit limit somewhere, Like like it's what is that? 6-bit, I think. Yeah, 6-bit. And so something's happening there. But it's just like if they had actually done that right and not had a 64, yeah, that includes module scripts. They didn't have a 64 like sync limit. I could just use that, Yeah, exactly. Yeah, well that's the annoying thing because it's not even like I'm assuming the Game Boy games, they're at least like you can imagine that those are actually small scripts. You could have a script that's like 20,000 lines and only count towards one of the 64. I refuse to believe that there is a valid reason for this. This is like, some corner was cut for some reason. No, I'm not, yeah, I don't want there to be a 20,000 line script. I just think that, like, if you can have 64 20,000 line scripts, you can have 64 times 20 1,000 line scripts, Like, I don't care how they do it. They need to figure it out, Oh yeah, no. I my personal limit is like I won't go. Okay, so here's for my own limits. I will try to keep a script below 1,000. No, please don't clip me. I'm not advocating for massive scripts. I hate those. 2,000 is probably the biggest I'll get without like before I start getting antsy. Like let's see, I can prove it. Quick code review where I prove I'm not a loser. Okay. That's why I guess it's showing my face. See, I'm not a loser. No, but like, see, it's all less than, it's all less than that. In fact, it's disproportionately small stuff. Do I actually have big scripts? Finally, a big script. Okay, 600. See, I'm a real coder. Yeah, like I think that obviously like there's no there are no programming rules that are like 100% this has to happen this way. Like obviously you have to design for the constraints you have. But like I think we can all agree if we're passing like 10,000 lines, a refactor needs to happen. You know, something needs like break it into submodules at that point. They don't ever have to be reused ever, but just like organize it, you know? Like there's not I don't know if there are any valid excuses for over 10,000 lines other than we just don't have a priority for, you know, code cleanliness and technical debt. Like we just don't care. Like, you know. Yeah, well, like I completely agree you should program to share it with your team. That's why I do verbose stuff and like, you know, keep my stuff type safe so that like it can be usable for people who aren't super familiar with the API. Problem is, like, for one, a lot of my colleagues don't understand type safety. But also, like, I don't know how someone could make a 10,000 line script and also claim that, like, oh yeah, it's readable. You know, like, yeah, maybe I just don't buy it. I just think that they just don't want to organize the script. Like I can't think of a good argument for that. That's not like a dump of like a bunch of state. You know, like okay, here's the longest script in the game. Probably it's probably one of these. Let's see, outfit. What is it? Is it hat? It's probably the longest script in the game at 9,000 lines. Do you know why it's that long? It is because it is generated off of a JSON file. You know? Yeah. Like yeah, so like I think that these are okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if you're not supposed to manually edit it, or like you're doing it in a very like Excel spreadsheet kind of way. But yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know that's kind of it. It's I tell you though, once people get over the hurdle of React Lua, I really do think that it makes UI development so much faster. Like it's just it's I there's something so portable about it. Like it's very readable, very like you know like you can just kind of use Roblox Lua without any weird hacks. You know, it's just feels good. Feels good. But yeah. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised to think that like I've heard of certain software, you know, like Rust for instance, that like will have much more efficient build modes for like if you don't want certain features. I'm surprised to hear that I guess the Roblox text files would be enough to like be warranted to like, you know, work against that 2 GB mobile device limit. Are they do they just have like a bunch of textures under them or something? Like I don't know. Like let me check. I'm pretty sure that the empty version of the of my game, which is I have it build every release or two. Actually, wait. Let me just build it right now. So let's see. What? what's the pattern for that? Okay, so it's this, and then instead of, I'm gonna do lobby. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this will build all my code into essentially an empty place. At least I think it's empty. Did I just make a comp? Let me check. Oh no, it's not empty. Oh well. Okay, but like, okay, so I just built this entire game which has these items in it, which if I had to get, and like the RBXL file that this just generated with this entire game's worth of scripts is only like 3 megabytes. So, I wouldn't have guessed, honestly. I still like I believe that you've experienced that. I'm just still kind of surprised that like in game development, you almost always hear about the memory usage being textures and sometimes audio. Text, wow. We really have gotten inefficient with our libraries, but like, you know, like I obviously I'm talking here as like someone who literally has this many, you know, things. But even then, like, okay, actually, I'm gonna zip up my package folder. See how that looks. So, oh, it's because, okay, yeah. So this when I zip up all my packages, it is actually goes to 8 megabytes. But then I realize a lot of those packages are actually stuff that aren't the final text because they're just full in repositories. Oh yeah, yeah. No, I like if they're in replicated storage, that's fine. I just like I'm talking more mostly about like why, like, but like you know what I mean though, right? Like for the most part, when you think about memory usage, you don't think about text files, you know? Like that's something which usually I think developers take for granted. But like, you know, like when you have hundreds of libraries with hundreds of dependencies, you know, there are limits. But yeah. I dream of a world where 2 gigabyte phones stop existing. But that is also a world where I probably am unemployed. Oh well. Yeah, in another life, Roblox embraced like an SVG workflow, and we dodged so many pain points. Oh well. What? Oh my goodness. I have heard a few times that animations are actually pretty memory heavy. I just haven't really had a game with enough animations in my that I guess I worked from the start. I know Blox Roots has a lot um, that had that, but yeah, wow, yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah. It's so frustrating because like obviously with editable images, you can now do you could write like an SVG rendering pipeline if you wanted, but like that's pixels, you know, it's still memory. Like it just become like a worse version of raster imaging. Oh, Roblox. It's up there with like shaders. Like I feel like a Roblox which like could figure out shaders, but not even that because shaders there are a lot of reasons why you wouldn't want to be able to do like the reason Roblox doesn't have shaders, as I'm sure you know, is like because they have just so many devices they're trying to support. It's just a huge nightmare. But like SVG, you can make every device support SVG. Oh well. But yeah. I wonder if you could do it with like editable meshes. Like, because that's just triangles. Even then, it feels weird. Okay. And also you have to use viewport frames for everything, which would be. Does anyone know how non-performant are viewport frames? Because it feels like viewport frames should be like the slowest thing ever, but I never hear anyone talk about them. Are they fine? Feels like they shouldn't be. You have like a little pocket universe. That feels like it should be. That should be something that slows you down. Oh, maybe I shouldn't ask. Maybe I can just discover it for myself. Oh, pathfinding. Yeah, I have heard that pathfinding is better. I just know that like at some point, 90% of the time, I get blocked with something. And at that point, it's easier for me to just have full control over the solution. Like, you know what I want from Roblox? I want them to release a lot more libraries, a lot more packages, stuff where I can make branches and forks of it as necessary, you know? But that would rely on making more underlying engine APIs available, but that's never going to happen. Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I can see the path. I just I'm not saying that it's impossible to work with. I'm saying that half my games have procedurally generated maps and like characters of 10 different sizes. And also they have superpowers and can jump. And yeah, technically, pathfinding does support those individual use cases. But at the last time I used it, at least, which would have been maybe 2 years ago, maybe a year or two ago, it was still struggling. And like I don't blame it's a hard problem to solve, a one size fits all solution. But like if I don't want a one size fits all solution, I can almost always get something better, Like I, if I'm already have the entire like logic of the map, coded into the game in various serialized formats, an A-star pathfinding thing might not be the worst thing ever. Like, I'm not saying I'm never going to use it. In fact, usually what I do is I'll do like A-star for larger navigation, and then I'll do pathfinding for like short nonsense. Like just stuff that doesn't really need to matter, but it would look a bit nicer if they went around stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it's... Yeah. I really wish Roblox would figure that out. Like, because it every time, man, like it also like I feel like the number of like one size fits all solutions that are good are pretty rare. Like I'm actually pretty surprised how well what was it? Occlusion calling went. That just seemed to go well. That was just a huge level up that happened randomly without too many edge cases from what I saw. That is not how things usually go. You don't just get a blanket improvement for everyone that often. Yeah. Oh, do you want to see this absurd workflow, Alakai? So I have literally made a Python script that takes every texture in my game and then uploads it at multiple resolutions. So that if I want, actually specifically character stuff right now. So if I want to do, a really low memory version, I could just do that. And let's see. And look, this say hello to 32 by 32 texture characters. Now, yeah, no, it's a painful workflow. I mean, not really. It took like an hour or two. But yeah, this is the kind of reason why like I can't leave Rojo behind, because doing this without having like an actual developer environment would be a pain. But yeah, like it's that kind of stuff where it's just like the levels of post processing that are so much easier to do when you can have like a release workflow. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. Well, actually, wait, with the I will say that for the editable images, I did talk to a Roblox engineer, and the actual literal like this is the math to determine your memory usage for a texture. It is the width times height times 4. And then for surface appearances, they do this weird thing where it's kind of like a multi-layered matrix almost. Like you don't have necessarily it. A surface appearance is its own weird thing, but beyond those, for the rule of thumb is just the 4 times. No wait, was it 4 or 6? No, it was 6. I don't remember why though, but it was 6. Anyway, I wrote that down somewhere. I guess that's why I wrote it down, because I don't remember it. But yeah, no, like if Roblox gave us some actual good, like just like no, it's not the actual file size, because the texture file size, that isn't the one they do with working memory, because like they have to have it in a specific format for the rendering pipelines to actually just read the texture at location. So they can't just have it like zipped up, Whenever you download a texture, it compresses it. So you're basically, whenever you have that texture in game, it's like the least memory efficient format, which is why they stack up so quickly. Yeah, no, that was the same mistake I made. I thought that like, oh yeah, well if I download all of them, nope. It's literally just resolution. Yeah, it's just the size of the canvas times a certain number of bits per pixel. Let's see. I'm not too sure about that. For the most part, I've just been kind of doing. I went pretty heavy into the custom, rendering pipeline direction, because I've just gotten so sick of Roblox's stuff. Godot, wait for me. I'm coming. But yeah, so yeah, this is what it looks like at not even full resolution. This is just the yeah. Let's see yeah, but no, here's the oh yeah, I see. I used to have my sources set up to auto switch. But okay, so here is the X32. This is what a character looks like when they're 32 by 32. So every texture for the character stuff was re-uploaded at different resolutions. So here it is at 32 by 32. Like you can see, like it is blurrier, but I can have like 10,000 of these characters in the memory budget. And so this is also being applied to like the accessories and stuff. So yeah, like this works. It works. It's just, the thing is, this is supposed to be a flannel shirt. So let me just do a quick comparison of like, we're just going to go straight to HD. And then just do a quick, immediate comparison for that. So honestly, for the NPCs, I'm just not going to have them use editable clothing. Like just because it's okay. So here it is in HD. Literally ran out of memory trying to render it. I hate Roblox so much. Okay, so 256 is, I believe, what I had it configured to in a way which didn't immediately clamp. But okay, here's what it looks like at 256. Pretty workable. You can see the flannel, you can see the little details on the helmet again. Yeah, no, like, yeah, we're gonna use the classic noob look for all of them. No, but yeah, we're gonna have, so for the other NPCs, we're gonna have them just use regular textured clothing. Maybe, if it becomes too memory scarce, we could always do a custom rendering workflow for them, but ideally, I want to work something where they don't literally like break the APIs if I go above 40 megabytes. Like 2 GB is not a lot. I can spend I can spend 400 megabytes on textures if I'm really smart with everything else. You know, like let me pick my battles. Um, yeah. So in terms of the yeah, so I'll be in terms of other players, I will probably be using. So this specific resolution is not anything too crazy, from what I can tell. Like it's not perfect. Obviously, it'd be better if it was in HD, but ideally, at some point, I'll have the rendering pipeline working fast enough that I can just, um, have HD versions of the, like have it like load in HD stuff as your camera gets closer. But right now, it takes about 2 seconds to load an entire character. This is mostly because of the clothing, the layered clothing stuff, because each one of the layered clothing is like 30 editable meshes. Yeah, the yeah, no, I think that it's just I definitely want to right now this entire character I could have like 300 of this character ish. Or what was it? It was no, it wasn't 300. It was that was for the lowest resolution. This would be okay, so I can have 160-ish of this character's textures for at this resolution. And so then if I don't know yet. I really do want to get a custom humanoid workflow going. And I think for NPCs that's always the place to use them. I definitely have humanoids for the characters right now, but like it's because I'm using editable textures, so much of the rendering workflow is like client only. Like there's just going to be a lot of faking happening. And yeah, the what happened? Did I break the how did I the map's broken. It was working earlier this stream. When did I break that? Oh well, I'll figure that out at some point. Thank you. But yeah, no, Alakai, do you know is there a good custom humanoid library? Is that a thing? Oh no, wait. Do you mean Chickenoid? Because that's not a custom humanoid. That is a whole can of worms. Don't get me wrong, it's a solid library, but I'm not trying to make server authoritative. That is a no, I cannot imagine anything more painful than trying to get a server authoritative grappling hook working. That would be a nightmare. Yeah, no. I mean for the most part, like I don't if if I make a custom if there's a pre-existing good custom humanoid that everyone recommends, I'll use that. If not, I'm just gonna make it, a bespoke solution. Just make something which fits perfectly for the needs that I have. That way it can be optimized for that. Yeah. Well, hey, whatever makes the game come out. Yeah, the got some coffee at 4 p.m. here. New office? I don't know. Oh, for me? Maybe. I don't know. Like, it depends on when you last saw me officially soup. If you saw me when I was living in Brazil, then yes, this is a new office. Yes, but if you saw me now when I'm living in Denver, then no. I mean, I guess the lighting's a bit different, and there's a mess behind me because I was traveling for the holidays and I never fully unpack for like another month, But yeah, no. Yeah. Yes, no, I am now in a different continent. So yes, that would explain a different office vibe. But yeah, I think for the most part, let's see. I will say I am liking this new I've started using some Rust inspired classes in my code, and that's been fun. Um, like just anything to kill null as a concept. But yeah, no, this is the code I use for like trying to render all of the characters on the client. Um, yeah, it's using results, futures, options. Oh yeah. Um, I still can't decide whether or not the code is more or less readable with this because on the one hand, like I can read this and see what it's doing. On the other hand, I'm just built different. I think if I remember correctly, I'm trying to make sure that it continues to work with streaming enabled, but for the most part, I'll be using my own system. Like, I eventually want to have really big maps, and I've heard that streaming enabled on a massive map really takes up memory usage on the server. Uh, and so, was it server memory or was it server processing? It was one of those two. And so, my favorite way to do big maps is like client side, almost seed based, like deterministic rendering. Like, like you have the trees semi randomly placed and then like it just renders them dynamically there. Like I don't like the idea that you're passing everything back and forth from the server and client. I think you can just give the client the metadata and then it can assume it can understand the rest of the state from that, ideally. So, my hope would be for, let's see, let me, in fact, you can see that here with the map workflow. Let's see if I broke it. Map service is not, oh wait, no, this is why. Okay, this is why I'm in trouble. Okay. It's because I changed I changed how it was being rendered. Okay. Yeah, I changed the rendering with that one build sequence. I actually doing that kind of cool featured thing where like it will build my game in separate ways, and if the game doesn't, if the build I make doesn't have like a map feature, it won't render the map stuff. Okay, so let's see. Is it almost done compiling? Yeah, it is. Okay, perfect. All right, so now there we go. See that? Okay, imagine if I did this with streaming enabled, which by the way you can see the skeletons of the buildings without it, but yeah, like it's so much nicer because all this stuff is like I know what kind of patterns I want to do visually, and so I just have all of the clients agree. All right, yeah, this is how we're gonna render the map. It's nice. I could tell you, getting some of these shapes to render like that did lead to some near on-stream swearing, but I think it looks good for the most part. I don't like how this doesn't sync up. Why doesn't that sync up? Ah, it's an odd number of windows. I have to see what to do about that. Let's see. Oh yeah, but because these are wedge parts. It is kind of cool. It literally builds it off of like the guide that I set. Okay. But yeah, no, like I think that this is the way it should be. Just using the client to build in all the details so that you can keep the actual stuff passed between the server and the client pretty light. I mean, I think I am the only person who can Thanos snap. I think I told y'all about this. In Superhero Life 2 and 3, I have an admin command for just me where I can walk into a server, snap my fingers, and then like I think originally it kicked half of the people in the server. But then I changed it to just kill them after I realized this would not be good for the KPIs. But yeah. Yeah, so you know, I like it. But yeah, I think I actually haven't had lunch yet, so I'm probably going to stop now. But no, it was great talking to y'all. Thank y'all for stopping by. Let's see. Yeah, no, yeah, just make an achievement. Oh, snap. That's a good idea. Oh, yeah, no, good seeing you too, man. All right. Take care. Tell Jazzy I say hello. And I will see the rest of y'all next week. All right. Peace, everybody.